Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the CE Tool Den. And on today's episode we have a new Klein Tools flickblade with prybar utility knife. This is brand new, 2-in-1 prybar plus knife, utility knife. There's a picture right there of what you can do. It's like paint can, you can open a paint can. It has that rotation where it does it at 135 degrees opening. Locks in, so it's got the two locking points and then the close. Full steel prybar core for added prying strength. So this is a pretty nice blade. Let's see. This is made in Vietnam, and so that means it's going to be good quality, because a lot of stuff lately that's been coming from Vietnam has been good quality. Model number is 44309. I bought this at Acme Tools. I'm going to put the affiliate link for the knife on from Acme Tools, and if it's on Amazon I'll put that too, but I'm not sure. But so far so good. This is the new knife. I like the orange color. It says flickblade. I like this is a really nice color. I mean, it's nice design, nice a little bit of everything. It's that traditional Klein color. It matches the little orange. Look at the trim square. Like that orange. There's the tape measure. Got my Klein gloves on. So here's the prybar. It has this clip. It is stiff right off the gate. I'm sure that'll loosen up a little bit over time, but it's definitely going to be initially going to be hard to put in your pocket. But at this point the clip actually can be switched to the other side. So if you want to carry it with the prybar down and blade up, you can. But I think that would be counterproductive as far as, you potentially tearing your pants, or shorts or whatever you're wearing. I would say keeping it in this orientation, but I don't know how this is going to do over time. If it, you might sharpen it by rubbing it on stuff, or it might dull, it might get rounder. I don't know. Depends on the situation and the way you use this knife. But this knife is very nice. It's got the traditional flick blade. And then it's got that locking at 135 degrees. Pretty nice. This is what their Klein is going for. It's like a typical utility knife. It's got that little wire stripper cutter thing, rope cutter, string cutter over here. We're going to test out the pry bar and see what we can do. So let's get to testing. Oh, by the way, before we get to testing, let's see how long this is. So this is about 5 inches. 5 inches in length. Like I said, this is going to be a good everyday work style of utility knife. And we can kind of compare it to a very similar tough built here. Very similar. Let's see, on this one, I think this may extend all the way down the pry bar. Yeah, so the pry bar, the steel on the pry bar extends all the way down, so it's added strength. Let's see how this one on the tough belt is. The tough belt is actually the same thing as far as extending all the way down. And then the next closest thing would be like the Gerber pry bar or this Milwaukee mini compact utility knife. But it's got similar features to these two, but it's got an offset, so you could probably pry staples out more easily, or try to, or on this way. But this is nice, so we're gonna test these out and see how they feel. All right, this is by no means going to be an exact test, but this is just kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. So if you're prying, something like this, you may want to put, like for torque and for leverage, putting it on the side like this and kind of like gently rocking it back and forth to pull something like this. And kind of like it's got that little slanted on the tough belt. The Milwaukee has this style. So you can do something like this, but it actually doesn't really. I thought it would work well. This is the first time trying it with this Milwaukee, And I'm kind of not impressed with this as far as using it as a pry bar in this manner. I mean, maybe if you go to the side, yeah, I can see going to the side and it pulls out. Put that back there. We're going to use our new Klein hammer. And then over here you have the Klein, brand new Klein, and it pulls easily and it grabs that nail pretty good. Now let's see how this works. So you definitely can't fit both these sides in between the forks, the whole fork thing, the whole pry bar in there. So you're probably better off to get some leverage, you know, put it to one side that you think you're going to be stronger on and just kind of pry it up. And it really works very well. I mean, that was easy. That was very easy. Let's go a little bit deeper. All right, let's go a little bit deeper. And then going with the Klein. Okay, now I'm going to get a little bit of a purchase over here because I'm not getting a good grip, because I definitely did put it down there pretty good. Let's see if this... There it is. And the thing is, I'm being rough with it. And I'm able to put some purchase on this. Like I'm not being soft on this. There you go. I was rough. Let's see what it looks like after. So we pried that. You got some of the paint off of the tip and over here and a little bit on the side, but that's to be expected. Anything like that would feel good. Let me see if this is marred up a little bit. No, that's just where paint was. Yeah, that's just paint. So, yep. So this is how good this works, and I'm sure this works the same, the tough belt, because they're very, very similar. The tough belt's just a little bit wider, but I mean, I feel like I can get, and it's got a rubber grip where this is just the plastic grip. They both feel comfortable in the hand, but if you're holding it like this, you might get the hook in there. The only thing is, these types of clips aren't my favorites, where this is my favorite type of clip, the wire, because it's not going to ruin your pants. But I will say that this is flexible, very nice, and this one has a more firm spring action to it. So I think, like I said, this will wear out over time, so it'll be nice. At least it's rounded off and not sharp, so your pants aren't going to get ruined. Pockets or pouches, wherever, if you hang this on your pouch. But this will be initially very hard to get in there. But I gotta say, this is heavy duty. That's not even plastic. Okay, I thought that was plastic, but I just felt it a little bit better. So we just got this in today, by the way, and so it's like more like a metal. I wonder if it's not. It doesn't feel like aluminum. It could feel like steel. But it does have the Klein Tools logo. I think that's painted on, and then the flickblade TM in there is stamped in there. It uses that looks like a T8, and it's got these little torque screws in there. I really like this. This is really nice. It's a really nice blade. This is a utility blade that's going to be for everyday use, not like something like this. This is for carrying. If you don't have this, this is what this is for. This one's in everyday use. This one's in everyday use. So I'm definitely going to be using this for a little while, see how it goes. I like having this dual purpose type. I'm going to be carrying this when I'm going on jobs. As far as everyday carry, this is probably not going to be an everyday carry tool, because I go for stuff that it's compact like this. But this is still kind of heavy for everyday too. So I'm going to probably go with something like plastic. But in my tool bag, this is what this is going to go. Or your tool pouch. So if you guys have an interest in something, prying something, and just to having as a backup tool if you need something and you're trying to minimize the weight, and not putting a pry bar tool, something like this, where you're going to be prying out staples, nails, and something like not all day, because if you're doing stuff, this kind of stuff, prying all day with the staples, electric staples, conduit staples, you're going to want a dedicated pry bar. But if you're doing like a couple of pull, you know, like nails, use the hammer claw, the straight claw, use a cat's paw, something like that for all day. But this is good for everyday cutting, because this is a heavy duty blade. This is a full size utility blade. It gives you the angled 135 degree cutting power, and then you have the added benefit of having a pry bar on you, so less weight overall if you're not necessarily doing a lot of pry barring, you know, prying or anything, nails, staples, or whatever it is. This will work in a pinch. It's a very good tool, made out of metal. This feels like plastic. Nope, that's metal too. So all this is metal. I don't really even see any plastic here. Yeah, this all feels like metal. It's got a little spring in there, and then you can put this on one of those wire hooks or lanyard type things. So you're guaranteed not to lose it if you have it on a lanyard, something to hang on. But yeah, I highly recommend it. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share, hit the bell for notifications. As always, have yourselves a good day, good night, and until next time, get the Klein pry bar utility knife. It's a great addition to your tools, everyday carry. Let's do it. The CE Tool Den is out.